Okay, we're familiar with this. 1 part sand, 1 part cement, right? And a pinch of color. I put a little bit of red and a little bit of black. And we're going to mix it up good here. Now, when you notice that I'm doing a different project with the same formula, well, you know, when you get a sack of cement, you can make a lot of different things. And today, we're going to be working on root over rock. And you see me do this a number of different times, and this will be a slightly different one in that we have this access to cement. Now, this will not work if you only have 1 or 2 small things and you have to go out and buy a 47-pound sack of cement, right? It might work with mortar, but this is the way I've always done it. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing today. There's a few little tricks that if you learn will save yourself a lot of headache. A lot of this I learned from trial and error. A lot of errors. But then I have plenty of time to make errors, right? And my feeling is if you're not making errors from time to time, you're not pushing hard enough. Anyway, so once again, we want it a little bit on the stiff side. Not enough weight, so this thing is shifting around. So far with this mix, I made a number of different things. Hopefully, you're watching all my chapters. Okay, so this is about right. This is stiff so that it's not running, right? Okay, let's get to the next step. One of the few things that have to happen for a root over rock, it has to be stable. This one is not too bad. I think we might even be able to get away with it, but I want to make it so that it stands like that and it goes into a shallow tray. It will not try to tip over. So, how do we go about doing that? Discard the line there. That was for the other job. Okay, so you take this glob and then you get the positioning right. And the trick is don't do anything. See, all this is really not attractive. But what we're going to do is when it's half set up, we're going to carve it off. If you wait till it's hardened, it's almost impossible to do. So anyway, that's what we're going to do here. And then, well, this of course is discarded from the other projects. Okay, so let's see what we could do. This one really needs to be stable, right? I think so. Maybe if we go like this, then almost like a windswept root over rock. Maybe. So I'll need to put a little glob right here. I like this kind of rock where you could kind of straddle the root, almost like riding a horse, I guess. But it needs to be stable, right? So how do we do this? Maybe like this would be good, right? Okay, so I'll put a glob right here. Okay, the mix was getting a little dry, so I put some water. Hopefully it's not too wet. Ha ha! See? Too wet. That's sort of par for the course. See how important the stiffness of your concrete is? This was much too soft. So there's a couple different ways to handle it. You could add a little bit sand and cement and make it drier, or just wait. I don't have time to wait, so I'm going to mix it with a little bit more sand and cement and hurry it up. Okay, a little bit stiffer. Let's see if it'll work now. Let's see, how did we say we wanted this to... Yeah, and then put it like so. Okay, that worked. So, the importance of mixing your concrete right. Slightly on the stiff side, but not so stiff that it doesn't stick. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, and then I was going to take this other rock. Okay, so now what do? Wait. So as we... Okay, I got these 5 things just sitting around waiting to be carved, or carved I guess is the best word for it. We're going to try to take as much of the concrete off as possible, so we see very little of it, but we have to wait till it's sufficiently dried and it doesn't fall apart, right? So, and in terms of timing, there is no exact timing. There's so many variables that it's impossible to say you got to do every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. I think that's sort of the beauty of concrete. It's challenging. I hated doing large, well, I didn't do a large concrete work, but yeah. You can't just say, well, it's time to go home. Nope, if it's not set up, you got to stay until it's done. So anyway, we'll probably get back to this, probably another hour, hour and a half, today's weather. Okay, so anyway, I'll get back to you when it's time to do the next step. So these are all going to become root over rock rocks. Well, like I was saying, there's no exact time. It has to be stiff enough the rock will stay put, but we could still remove. See what we're doing? The concrete has set up enough so the rock stays put. And we don't have all these big chunk of concrete. Yeah, once you get the hang of working with concrete, it's interesting and works really well. Now, see, with this, we could have a shallow tray like that and still be invisible. And but primarily we want it so that it's stable, that it will not try to lean. I have some other ideas. Well, probably not going to work because it's set up, but I'm always trying to figure out ways to kind of save as much stuff as possible. So I think this one is okay. Yeah, this don't have to be smooth or anything like that because it's going to be hidden. Okay, this one, same thing. Go around and remove the excess, because all we want this to do is be stable. This one might need to have more concrete, right? Because this area was, that means that when you get around to making your root over rock, you're gonna have to learn to fake it better. Or put it in a deeper container. It could be a shallow container and then mount it. So there's a number of different things you could do, but it needs to be stable. That's why we add the base. This side's looking good. I could see the roots coming down and then maybe around in here. Well, this probably was not a good idea. Individual board would have made it so that we could put it on the turntable. You won't be able to see what I'm doing on the back side, but basically the same thing, right? And then remember, this one was more or less flat, but it gives us a little bit of height, so it makes the rock look bigger. Okay, so that's okay. Then let's get to the next one here. I think we could have waited a little bit longer, but you can see that it's stable enough. When the rock falls over, then you say, that was not a good timing. So anyway, you can make a lot more root over rocks workable by using this method. I might have, on this one here, I might have taken off a little bit too much. Well, it's a little bit more visible that, oh well. This one is the one that was soft. Probably should be careful. Yeah, the concrete, there's no exact formula on when things will set up. So, yeah, it's not bad. Like I was saying, just a little bit on the west side, but the rocks will stay put. And then once this get planted, you'll get planted to here, right? So you will not see this. So I think it's been okay. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hopefully future root over rock. What was Hero doing with these discards? Well, I was trying to see if I could make artificial rocks.